We've all been taught to identify what's wrong in our lives, but seeing the problem, that's only half the battle. The thing is, most people get stuck right at the critical turning point. They keep pointing outward at all the things they cannot control instead of inward at the one thing they can. And that's why they stay trapped in the same stories year after year. Imagine having the keys to unlock your own prison, but always looking for someone else to open the door. That's what happens when we blame others for our circumstances. You want the secret sauce to personal power? It's realizing that owning your story, even the messy parts, and believe me, I know about messy parts, gives you the authority to rewrite it. When you take responsibility, you're not accepting blame, you're claiming your power back from everything and everyone you've been handing it to. And here's where things get really interesting. The moment you stop pointing fingers is the moment you start creating real change. The concept of owning it isn't just for people who already have their lives together. It's actually most powerful when we're stuck, or when we're feeling stuck or overwhelmed or trapped by circumstances beyond control. Think about it. When you blame your boss for your career frustration, you're essentially saying, my happiness depends on them changing. But when you own your part, suddenly you have options. Improve your skills, have that difficult conversation, or find a workplace that values you. The beauty of ownership is that it works in every area of life where you feel powerless. And contrary to what you might be thinking, taking responsibility doesn't mean taking on more stress. It actually relieves it by putting you back in the driver's seat. The relationship between ownership and mental health is fascinating and it's complex. When you stop viewing yourself as a victim of circumstances, sometimes remarkable things happen to your mind. You transition from a state of helpless reactivity to purposeful creativity. The shift doesn't happen overnight. It requires courage to look in the mirror and say, I played a part in creating this situation. But that moment of honest reckoning, that's where true healing begins, where anxiety about things beyond your control transforms into focused action on what you can change. The most powerful thing about this approach is that it doesn't require massive life changes all at once. It simply asks for acknowledgement of your role in your own story. Ownership isn't the end of the journey, it's just the beginning. What becomes possible for you when you finally stop blaming and take the wheel?